Being a Sigma male is like being the modern world's lone wolf, a man who follows his own way. He is the figure that men want to embrace, a symbol of power shrouded in mystery. Every guy wants to believe he has a bit of Sigma in him, even if it's simply for the sake of maintaining his own ego. However, not every individual who claims the Sigma title has earned it. Some men have been so engrossed in the notion of being the Sigma that they have overlooked the irony. It is not something you say, but something you are. If you've ever heard someone brag about being modest, you understand what I mean. So, if you fear you aren't the Sigma male you imagine yourself to be, hang around. Here are 9 surprising signs that the Sigma you see in the mirror might just be a mirage. Number 1. You change your personality depending on who you are with. Adaptability is a wonderful quality, but if you change your personality every time you meet someone new, you have a problem. A Sigma man does not adapt to fit in. He goes into any room with the serene assurance of a guy who knows who he is, no matter who else is there. If you frequently modify your beliefs, hobbies, basic values, or even your sense of humor to fit in with others around you, you are not adaptable. Rather, you are insecure. Sure, it may make you appear more appealing in the short term, but it gradually erodes your genuineness. People may not call you out on it, but believe me, they notice. To be clear, this does not imply that a Sigma guy is incapable of connecting with others. The distinction is in the aim. A real Sigma connects without compromise. He does not feel compelled to agree with everyone or pretend to have common interests in order to establish rapport. If you're busy playing social chameleon, you're not blazing your own trail, you're following someone else's. It's tiring to constantly change oneself to please others. Worse, it produces a hollow replica of you. Genuine confidence comes from living a life that is consistent with your principles, rather than bending over backwards to gain praise. If your identity changes depending on who you spend time with, you are not a lone wolf. You are simply another sheep. Number 2. You can't deal with minor inconveniences without complaining to everyone. Small irritants abound in life, such as traffic congestion, long queues, and an incorrect coffee order. However, if you are always venting about tiny inconveniences to anybody who will listen, you are not emanating the stoic serenity of a Sigma guy. The thing with Sigma males? They retain their calm. They understand how to absorb life's minor blows without creating a fuss. Sure, they get frustrated like everyone else, but they've mastered the skill of ignoring what doesn't matter. When you rant over minor annoyances, it demonstrates a lack of emotional control, and this is not the strong, quiet kind. Don't get me wrong, there is a time and place for venting your displeasure. However, if you find yourself retelling each setback in your day as if it were a tragedy, it may be time for some reflection. The fact is that the more energy you devote to minor issues, the less you have for the things that really matter. You should learn to choose your battles. A Sigma guy does not spend his breath on things he cannot alter. Complaining is not a strategy, it is a diversion. So, the next time you feel like venting about your awful day, ask yourself if it will matter tomorrow. If the response is no, perhaps let it slip. Number 3. You frequently ask others what they think about your decisions. Seeking input is one thing, but requiring regular affirmation is another. If you can't make a decision without polling everyone you know, you don't exactly exude the independent spirit of a Sigma man. Sigma guys believe their instincts. They don't need a committee to make their decisions. When you rely too heavily on other people's views, you lack self-confidence. Worse, it allows people to sway your life in areas you may not want to go. Do not misinterpret me. Seeking guidance is not a weakness. The fundamental distinction is that a Sigma male seeks advice because he really values another person's point of view, rather than because he is too unsure of himself to make a decision. When your initial inclination is to say, "What do you think?" it may be time to concentrate on improving your internal compass. The more you rely on external input, the more difficult it is to hear your own voice. The finest judgments are made through a combination of information, experience, and intuition, not during a roundtable conversation with friends. If you want to forge your own path, begin by trusting yourself to make the decisions. Number 4. You seek revenge for every slight disrespect. Sigma males are not into petty vendettas. Sure, they have limits and will not accept disrespect, but there is a huge difference between sticking up for yourself and scheming retribution every time someone looks at you improperly. When you make it your duty to settle every score, you demonstrate vulnerability rather than power. It takes more courage to let go of minor slights than to concentrate over retaliation. The fact is that those who want perpetual vengeance frequently project their own anxieties. A Sigma male understands his worth. He doesn't have to prove it with continuous tit-for-tat games. When you focus on retribution, you give them more power over you than they deserve. Why waste your time and energy on someone who is unlikely to care about you? Don't confuse letting go with weakness. There is power in walking away from the foolishness while maintaining your dignity. Revenge may feel pleasant in the short term, but it is ultimately a diversion from what is truly important. A real Sigma male retains his focus on the broad picture, not on minor irritants. Number 5. You struggle to be alone. Sigma males thrive on solitude. For them, being alone is not lonely, rather, it is a time to recharge, think, and grow. If the prospect of spending the weekend alone makes you nervous, you may lack the self-confidence of a real Sigma male. True independence begins with being content in your own company. When you always require the company of others to feel fulfilled, it indicates a lack of inner stability. The Sigma male is not a loner, but he enjoys isolation because he recognizes the benefits of self-awareness and personal development. When was the last time you had meaningful time alone without distractions? There will be no surfing through social media or background noise, just you and your thoughts. If this feels unattainable, it means you may be more reliant on external affirmation and stimulation than you realize. Start modestly while cultivating the Sigma male characteristic. Take yourself out for a solitary coffee date or spend a day away from electronics. Over time, you'll realize that isolation is a valuable instrument for self-discovery. Number 6. You care too much about impressing others. There's nothing wrong with trying to put your best foot forward, but if everything you do is geared to please others, you're a follower rather than a leader. Sigma males do not live their life hoping to win the adoration of others. They live truly, and adoration is a natural result. When you focus too much energy on pleasing or impressing others, you risk losing touch with your actual self. This behavior might manifest in subtle ways, such as wearing clothes you don't like just because they're trendy, or agreeing to plans you despise only to avoid saying no. Sigma males do not need to brag about their successes or seek approval for their decisions. They let their deeds speak for them. If you find yourself seeking likes, praises, or acceptance, it's important to stand back and ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Remember that confidence comes from self-awareness, not from others' recognition of your value. When you stop looking for affirmation, you'll find the freedom to enjoy life on your own terms. Number 7. You lack emotional control. Emotional mastery is an important attribute of the Sigma male. This does not imply suppressing or pretending emotions do not exist. It entails understanding and regulating them in a manner that keeps you grounded. If you find yourself losing your cool over trivial concerns or unable to cope with setbacks, it may indicate that you lack the self-control of a Sigma man. Sigma men's ability to keep a cool, controlled manner in the face of hardship is attributed to emotional control. Here's the truth: life will throw you curveballs. People will frustrate you. Plans will fail. Emotional control isn't about avoiding these truths, it's about deciding how to react to them. Take a moment to consider how you handle stress or disagreement. Do you lash out, shut down, or overthink? If so, start practicing emotional regulation. Journaling, mindfulness, and even therapy can help you develop the resilience and calmness required to be a real Sigma male. Number 8. You're constantly comparing yourself to others. One of the most distinguishing characteristics of a Sigma male is his capacity to focus on his own path. He does not compare his worth to others since he understands that the only person he is competing with is himself. If you find yourself caught up in a loop of comparison, whether it's about your profession, relationships, or financial possessions, You're not exhibiting the autonomous thinking of a Sigma male. Constantly comparing yourself to others will result in dissatisfaction and insecurity. The comparison trap is particularly deadly in the age of social media. Everyone's highlight reel might make you feel like you're slipping behind, even if you're doing perfectly great. Sigma males avoid this temptation because they recognize that comparing steals delight. Focus on your own development rather than what others are doing. Set personal goals and monitor your progress. When you stop comparing, it will be simpler to enjoy your accomplishments and focus on what is genuinely important. Number 9. You avoid challenges due to fear. Sigma males don't shy away from obstacles. They see them as chances for progress. If you avoid challenging circumstances because of fear of failure, you are not living up to the resilience of a Sigma male. Fear of failure is normal, but allowing it to drive your activities is not the Sigma way. A real Sigma understands that failure is a necessary step toward achievement. He doesn't let losses define him since he understands that every difficulty has a lesson. Consider the last time you avoided anything beyond your comfort zone. Was it a difficult talk, a new employment opportunity, or a personal goal you were putting off? Avoidance may seem comfortable in the short term, but it keeps you locked in the long run. To create the resilience of a Sigma guy, begin by reframing your perception on adversities. Rather than perceiving them as dangers, consider them opportunities to develop stronger. Remember that the lone wolf did not get powerful by remaining in his cave. He ventured into the unknown. Conclusion: being a Sigma male does not imply putting on an act or announcing oneself as one. It is about living authentically, independently, and with calm confidence. If you identify yourself in any of these 9 signs, don't panic. Self-awareness is the first step toward progress. Use these ideas to change your habits and cultivate the qualities you appreciate. Being a Sigma male isn't about perfectionism, it's about development. Concentrate on being the best version of yourself, and the rest will follow. Because, at the end of the day, being a Sigma male is not about conforming to a label. It's about following your own route, on your own terms. Are you ready to embrace your inner Sigma and live life on your own terms? Don't simply watch, take action. Hit the like button, subscribe for more life-changing insights, and share this video to someone who needs to hear it. Remember, the power to change your life begins with you. Let's cultivate that Sigma male attitude together. See you in the next one.